Hello, everyone. Welcome to Life Below TV. It is Leilani Oliveira. I'm so excited to have you back with us. And I'm excited to have this amazing person with me joining us today.
Corey Vincent.
So, in the last video, you introduced yourself.
Yes.
So I guess they'll continue to get to know you through the videos. We're not gonna do another intro.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
So the topic we're gonna talk about today is veganism.
Mm-hmm.
So we are both vegan in a relationship, which is often rare. But we met each other.
I was vegan first, but keep going.
He was I was pescatarian. I was already transitioning.
Pescatarian and vegan are two different things. But keep going. Do continue.
So we want to talk about our journey, how we started, what happened when we met, and how has it been now 2 years later.
Okay. You want to start?
You can start, my baby. Tell them.
Okay, so I'm the vegan veteran in a relationship. I've been vegan for close to almost 3 years now. I was introduced to veganism with my ex about 3 years ago. I still ate fish and chicken. I had given up beef. I had given up pork in high school because I was an athlete. I used to play college football. So I was just trying to figure out different ways to, eat cleaner and try to be leaner and whatnot. But at the time, about 3 years ago, the lady whom I was with, she was vegan, and she would show me different videos about, how we as human beings would treat the animals. So it was an ethical issue for me. My spirit didn't feel comfortable with what I was seeing. I'm not trying to preach anything, but I don't feel that an entity should live just for me to enjoy it on a lunch table just for an hour. We should just take that entity's life. You know what I mean? I think it's extraordinarily selfish. And also, I want to eat cleaner. I don't, statistically, black men, we have the shortest life expectancy. Last time I took an epidemiology course, and most of it is due to diet and stress. So I'm just trying to pass on healthy genes and trying to live long and live a quality life for however long I'm here. So it's both ethical and health related. It was probably more ethical than it was health related because it was a struggle for me to give up a few luxuries, but I'm good for the transition. I'm better for it.
I was just thinking about that. I was like, how was it for you transitioning and so your partner was already vegan?
Yes, she was.
So how was that? Was she pushy at all? Or?
No, when you're in a relationship, you eat similarly to how your partner eats because you're mirroring one another and you're always in one another's company. So I was mirroring I was eating a lot of the things that she was eating, and she was exposing me to a lot of different vegetables and grains that I had never even known. I didn't know what they looked like, let alone what they tasted like. So it was a time in my life when it was the first time where I started to actually look at the ingredients of what I'm actually putting into my body. So it was a different form of growth. I'm over 25, 29 to be specific. And I just grew in a different way. I grew in terms of what I put into my body. I think it's very important. I never took the time to, actually take a moment and treat my body like a temple and actually think about what that means in its totality. Now, I'm not perfect, but that's just one way in which I improved, because I do have my vices.
Okay, so I'll start with my journey. But what was difficult for you to give up? What were some things that...
Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings was hard for me to give up. But then I saw how the chickens were treated and how they, what their lives were like. I was like, nah, I can't do that anymore. What else was difficult? I think that's it. I couldn't outrun what I had already saw repeatedly. If I know this exists, I can't outrun it. So I have to. It's just either I'm going to continue to contribute toward it, or I'm going to do something about it in terms of how I spend my money, what I advocate. And I have a lot of friends that say, well, I don't want to see that. I don't want to hear that. But, I often draw the parallel. Like, if I were an abolitionist and this was 1864 or 1863, and I was showing you images of how the enslaved Africa and the Americas were treated, and you didn't want to see it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I didn't make the point the way I wanted to make it, but there is a parallel there.
Absolutely.
But keep going.
Okay. So my journey. I don't even know where it started, but I do remember so many years ago, actually seeing a model advocate about it all the time. I don't remember her name. I think it's Aisha or something. She's an Instagram model, and she would advocate it all the time. I'm like, this woman's doing too much. This is I would never give up eating chicken and stuff like, it just doesn't make sense. And obviously that's like the mind coming up with like cultural stuff, like, you know, this is my culture, how am I going to give up eating all this like meats and fish and stuff that
what food is big in your culture?
It's a mix, but a lot of seafood, islands.
Okay.
So I started transitioning by myself slowly. I tried veganism a couple times. I just couldn't stick to it because my environment showed me different. There was no one that I could be face to face that was vegan. None of my friends, family, nothing. So I just kept trying, failing. May I ask, when you were trying to transition toward veganism, what was the response of those who were close to you? How did they support or did they criticize? A little bit of both. I think my friends tried to support me and my family tried, but it came with criticism. I think just, again, their mind identifying what they identified with. They would always, you know, make me feel silly. So when it came to time that I seen something that I loved in front of me, if it was, you know, fish or octopus or shrimp,
eggs.
You know, it would just be like, or eggs, yeah.
Eggs. Keep going.
I would be like, you know, whatever they said to me would come up again. Like, okay, here you go again, making radical choices. You're just, you know, always trying to, perfect yourself. It's too much. You're human. You're not going to do that. So I was like, okay, let's just, you know, I'll just cave in and eat it. So, trials, and tribulations.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
At what point do I come into the story?
Please, he's a liar. We're not gonna get to this in this video. He's a liar.
Transitioned her into veganism. She was lost. She was like, veganism. I don't know how to cook. I don't know what to do. And I was like, come.
Oh, baby, stop it. You're lying.
I got the recipes.
He's a liar. Anyways,
I have the recipes.
Anyways, so 2 years ago in the summer, I was already making the transition. So I said, you know, let me not go full force in it because clearly I already failed multiple times. Let me just try to slowly transition. So I became a pescatarian before I met him. I was already making the transition. So that was super easy. Like, I'm not big on meats, on chicken and stuff, like poultry. Like I'm not really big, but seafood, like I loved octopus and shrimp and fish and stuff like that. So
you know, octopi are really intelligent. It's sad that you did that to all those
anyways,
octopi.
So with time, I met Corey, but you hadn't cooked for me or anything at that time. So
I didn't have an opportunity to.
Exactly, we were still communicating, like, just through text and
FaceTime.
And FaceTime. So I had,
you
know, this was a time that, like, What the Health just came out, so it was like hot. It was all over. I said, you know what? Let me give it a shot. So I watched What the Health. So when I watched the documentary, I'm the kind of person that I hate my power, and I'm strongly, like, with that word, like, I hate my power being taken away from me. I hate things that are my birthright being taken away from me, specifically when I don't know, like when someone is doing it behind my back. So watching that documentary triggered me in all different ways, like anger, fear, resentment, like all these different emotions came up. And really, besides it being about, like, animals, and that became a piece of it, to be honest, later in my journey. For me, first it was health, which I think is a documentary kind of led me there, was What the Health. So it kind of followed my train of thought for it being about health. But anyways,
isn't that interesting though? What pulled me the most was the ethical portion of it, and yours was the health part. So inverse.
But it's also what we were exposed to. So, you know, you said your ex was showing you animal cruelty. Yeah. I watched the documentary What the Health. It was about health. It was all about how, you know, it's a system of them, you know, you basically eat this meat, you get sick, you go to the hospital, they give you pills. You know, it's this cyclical way of them making money off of my body, in my health. But anyways, so from watching What the Health, I decided, and to be completely honest, he didn't sway me into being vegan.
That's not true.
But I will say that I was excited to have one person on board that I could talk to, and I was motivated by the fact that you were vegan. I like that, but my thought was already rolling.
She went to bed very late, writing down this speech to smoothly weave in how she was already
anyways,
vegan. You marry your partner, okay? She was still eating seafood when she met me. We weren't together. Can I finish? Because you were getting ready to cut me off already. We weren't together, what, 2 months? 2 months, and already she's vegan.
You're lying to the people.
When you first came to the house, I cooked you all vegan food.
Yes.
Okay, so you know how to cook vegan food.
But I was vegan at that point.
No, you weren't, because you were still entertaining flesh. You were still eating that.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
First of all, I was pescatarian, so I wasn't eating flesh. You just caught
If
me
you're
on a lie.
pescatarian, fish is not flesh?
All right, let's keep going.
The body of a fish is not flesh?
Anyways, long story short.
I'm Yoda.
I became vegan. Then I came to New York to visit him, and he made an incredible vegan meal. And because look.
You gotta learn how to cook. Take care of your lady.
Look, my baby.
Yeah.
So this is how I could tell you that I wasn't vegan when I first came. I mean, I was vegan when I first came to New York. Because at that time, I had already been eating vegan foods, but they weren't tasty because I didn't know how to cook. So, like I said, I will give him full credit to introducing me to like better, tastier vegan meals. Like eating your foods opened me up because I didn't know about the like vegan meats. I didn't know about that. I didn't eat a lot of beans, so plantains and stuff. Like you introduced me to all that. Facts. Now the decision.
What about curry?
Was made on my own. Curry, my mom made chicken curry.
There's variations in curry though, depending on what part of the world you're in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of curry he didn't eat, but we eat curry. Chicken.
Nobody eat chicken, that's bad, man.
So yeah, so now how has veganism been different for you? Being in a relationship with me? Or just being in a relationship together? I will say I'm the better cook now, so that's
you know what? Probably
I took over. So in the beginning I was like, wait, this man is killing me when it comes to food. And you know, women, we pride on cooking for our man, so I was like, wait. We gotta run this back. Like, this man is killing me. So shout out to YouTube because of YouTube I started to learn so many different recipes. You know, now I'm getting into like desserts and treats, but I've been learning so much, so now I cook better. So thank you for teaching me all of that you taught me.
I'll give you that. Exposing me. My mental energy is elsewhere, so
anyways,
I allow her to grow. And I say, my lady, take that, you know, I do what I'm doing over here.
Your excuses.
But you know, I'll come back and grow more.
So what else? We fight a lot about me trying to have him eat healthier. So me trying different things, like I wanted to go raw. That was World War 95.
No, it's not the fact that she goes raw or that you go raw. It's the fact that you try to make decisions. Like, she makes executive decisions like we're not in a partnership.
I'm trying to keep us alive.
I can make executive decisions all day.
I'm trying to keep us alive.
I can make it all day. I can just say, babe,
if we're not alive, we can't love each other.
And I don't even have to tell you why. We just doing this.
We can't love each other.
She texts me and says, oh, we going raw. Don't buy this. I'm like, what? And it just messes up my day. Like, I don't want to hear that this is what we're doing. Like, you're dictating to me. Ask me how I feel about it.
I never dictate.
And I'll let you know, maybe, but I don't want to go.
He wasn't feeling it.
I wasn't feeling it.
At the end of the day,
but I know it's healthy. I know it's healthy.
He wasn't feeling that. So we struggle back and forth about stuff like that.
What else? Since you want to throw everything out there, what else do you argue about, huh? What else?
So yeah, so we definitely don't plan on not being vegan ever. So far in his 3 years and 2 years of us being vegan, it's been an amazing journey. I feel, what are some improvements that you notice with your health or just your well-being? We are both, and that's something to disclose, we are both very into food addicts, recovering food addicts.
Don't disrespect me.
So we both struggle with food growing up. We've both been overweight. We have, so for me, veganism is such a great space for someone to be that's still recovering from, you know, trying to build a better relationship with food like I have over the years, because we eat, sometimes we overeat, but we still feel good, right? And we're not gaining weight like we used to. We're healthy, fit. We feel comfortable in the skin that we're in.
Absolutely, that's very important. You can eat your way. I had a gentleman tell me years ago, he says you can eat your way into the gym or eat your way out of the gym. Unfortunately, oftentimes when people get involved with work, especially men, we have we're prone to gaining weight. And I'm very fortunate. I haven't been gaining weight. I'm eating very healthily. I'm eating often. I don't feel guilty about the things that I eat. And I feel good. I feel great. People are always asking me, how often you go to the gym? I wish I could say like 4 times a week, you know what I mean? Because I miss it. And that's a different conversation in terms of work-life balance. But I feel great. I've, like she said, I've struggled with my weight most of my life. I used to be very overweight, and I just didn't, like I said earlier, didn't take the time to actually review what I'm putting into my body. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you have to be diligent about what we put into our bodies. We own it. It's like this is our vessel for now. You know what I mean? So you have to invest in it.
Any specific like health improvements? I actually have a video, so I'll plug it on here, and you can see my benefits that I've gotten off veganism.
Pictures of me when I was overweight, I've incinerated. I don't those kind of pictures and pictures with
braces. Maybe did not before. No, I didn't do it before and after. Oh, I did on my Instagram, but no. I was just talking about like the benefits that I seen, like bowel movement. I was someone that was constipated a lot, and
really?
My bowel movement is like great now from veganism. My skin.
Yes, absolutely, my skin as well.
I forgot what I said in the video, but I'll share that. All right, baby. Anything else?
I'm tired. No.
Anything else about veganism?
I think in 100 years, I think they're going to be much more vegans than there are now. I think
absolutely, it's on the rise. The numbers.
The way in which we consume is going to feel antiquated 100 years from now. Because people are waking up. People are waking up.
All right, so we can close off by...
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
It's a quote by Muhammad Ali. For those who demonstrate resistance to like new ideas.
My baby, I was just... Okay.
You were just going to say that? Telepathy.
I was just going to say... well, my question was around, what would you tell someone that is still resisting this idea?
Oh, telepathy. Okay, that's a different conversation, but we are so connected that oftentimes, like if I think something, it pops into our head, vice versa.
It's getting out of hand now. All right.
But the quote that I was going to share is Muhammad Ali, and I'm paraphrasing, but if you speak to a man and he's the same man that he was at 20, at the year 50, so if a man is the same man from 20 years old to 50 years old, then he's wasted 30 years of his life. So for those of you that are watching, for however long, just keep your mind focused on growth. Yeah. Your life is your own journey. Don't get caught up in just wasting away watching nonsensical things or involving yourself in things that are not going to make you a better person the following day in some small regard. Just keep pushing forward.
I love that, my baby. So that question back to me, anyone that's resisting, I will say, engulf yourself in information and content that you think will help you make the best decision for yourself. So up to this point, however old you are, you've gotten only information about eating meats and what meats can do for you, or just how to cook this kind of food. Now just give yourself a year. You don't have to turn vegan, but just engulf yourself in the information.
Yes.
Right? Documentaries, books, vegan books, YouTube channels, people that are taking on this lifestyle. Just provide yourself or give yourself the space to get exposed to this information. And then in a year, decide again. But expose yourself, even if it's slowly. And I think that would help you a lot, because what the health, for me, your girl was fired up. I was fired. I was ready to take everybody out. FBI and everything. U.S. government, everybody.
I got a lot of y'all. Corey Vincent. Okay, you know what? So
no, we're not gonna get into it. We'll talk about this after. We'll talk about why we do this after. Right. So we are logging out, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Like it, comment. We would love to hear from you guys. We'll have way more videos coming out. If you have questions for us, we'll have a Q&A sometime. Yeah. Where you guys can ask us questions.
That should be funny.
But yeah, and definitely subscribe and turn on your notifications so you know when we post again. That is all for us, guys. Peace and love. I love you. I love you. I love you. Take care of yourself. And we are checking out.
See you later.